or if they're just starting to learn, they always wait until they got everything perfect before starting to share their work. And I think that's a big mistake because you can still share your work within your journey and you're growing. So you don't have to wait until, because if you wait until your work is perfect, it's really never going to be that time. Like, you're always learning, you're always changing. So yeah, my name is Andrea. So the face, or the hands behind Letters by Andrea on Instagram. So that is what I mainly do my work. So I showcase all my designs and lettering on there. So yep, that's me. I'm currently living in the UK, but I'm from Venezuela in South America, and I lived in Australia for the past almost 10 years. And I recently moved just before all this pandemic started. I always knew that I was creative. I always liked typography and all of that since I was in school. I remember just doing like letters for my friends, like lettering their names and stuff like that. So it was always like somewhere in there for me, but it was never like an option for me as a career. I think it's mostly because of our cultural like backgrounds in my country. Like, you're not, they don't push you to go through like design and all of that. It's more like, oh, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer or things like that. So it that's why I never actually studied design like in university. But yeah, like I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. And it was not until maybe like 3 years ago that I really started pursuing this as a career. I'm self-taught, so I haven't gone to university or college to study design or typography. I've been learning by myself, mostly on Skillshare. You have to have the technical knowledge, but also the practice, because if you have all that knowledge but you don't practice, then that knowledge is not worth it. I practice a lot, and I started doing this as a mostly I think every day for the past 3 years. So that's where my knowledge comes from. A lot of designers, like fresh out of university, or if they're just starting to learn, they always wait until they got everything perfect before starting to share their work. And I think that's a big mistake because you can still share your work within your journey and you're growing. So you don't have to wait until, because if you wait until your work is perfect, it's really never going to be that time. Like, you're always learning, you're always changing, you're always adding a little bit more of your knowledge. And I think that you have to start at any time. And I think you're gonna be noticed, because sometimes we are our worst critics. So we think it's not great, but other people might find it really good. So it's just a matter of putting yourself out there, your work out there. Mostly all the companies that I work with is been because they have reached out to me. And I think part of it is because I never started doing this as a business in the beginning. So it was more about me sharing my creativity. And it was more like a hobby. It wasn't meant to be getting money or anything like that. It was more like me sharing my journey from the beginning, how I learned, like all my process. And I think when you're true to yourself and you're honest about your work, you get companies to like look at you and say, oh, look, I like this person and their work. So you're not like really pushing for them to work with you, but the other way around. So if you put out there like quality work and you put your personality as well, you'll get noticed and companies will work with you, because that's something that is very appealing. I'm not much of a trend follower, and I think with design, what happens, like obviously you can have a look at what is going on at the moment and be inspired by it, but what happens with trends is that if everyone follows them, at the end you'll have a lot of similar work. So your work won't stand out because you're following the same trend as many other people. But at the end of the day, it's more about sharing what I want and like my personality. I think putting your personality into your work is much more valuable, because you're gonna get noticed because of it, and you're not gonna blend in with the rest. But I do follow some blogs and Instagram's account that I really like. The Daily Type is one of those, Good Type and Typism. So those are the three main ones that I follow. I read their blogs and look what are they doing. The good thing about them is that they also share work from other people in the community, so you can get to see thousands of people just sharing their work and their experience, which is really good to know, even though if you don't apply that into your work all the time, but at least you have an idea of what's going on at the moment. Don't have like a set style. I think it's just very diverse in the terms of that. I think it has evolved so much because I always been about sharing my journey. So you can see from the beginning it was very it was more hand lettering with like traditional methods. I started with like Crayola markers to do this, so it was like a very basic lettering, and then it has evolved since I've been learning and doing courses and all of this and practice more, and I'm a little bit more focused on the digital lettering at the moment. So it has evolved quite a lot, so I wouldn't say that I have a set style. I still like to experiment with different things, and I don't think I've found my style just yet. For me, it's just having fun with it, just experimenting with different things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's just part of the journey, part of the learning experience. And I think that's quite interesting because I've been implementing illustration and a little bit of pattern designs into my my style as well. Because I'm doing more digital lettering at the moment, so my main tools will be my iPad, the Apple Pencil, and the Procreate app. I'll do all my designs on that. So that's something else that I wanted to tell you, because sometimes people think digital lettering can be really expensive to start with. I've been lettering for the past almost 3 years, and I've never had like the latest iPad Pro. So if you're looking to start and you don't have like a bunch of money to spend on it, because obviously it's very expensive, then you can do what I did and just go with a simple version, and it will work perfectly anyway. You can start with that, and then as you go, just upgrade if you feel the need. Been learning a little bit more about design and illustration. I feel like I'm very interested in that as well. So I'm been adding that slowly into my work. And also I think that's a part that is going to grow a lot because I don't know much about it at the moment. So I think for my future is more learning, more engagement, just keep sharing my work. But yeah, just don't focus in on just one thing, just learning more things. Like for me, it's amazing how much you can learn as an artist. You don't have to be really boxing into just one category. Thank you so much for inviting me.